I'm Meredith Taylor, coordinator of the Catskill Regional Invasive Species Partnership, hosted by the Catskill Center for Conservation and Development.
And I'm Elizabeth Dioria, the Catskill Invasive Species Assistant at the Catskill Center for Conservation and Development.
We're here today to tell you a little bit about the emerald ash borer, an invasive beetle that has been detected in Saugerties. It was first detected in the United States in the Detroit area in 2002. It likely arrived in wooden packing material. The most recent infestation was detected in the Saugerties area in the summer of 2010. That infestation was likely insects that arrived through the movement of firewood. The importance of this invasive forest pest is that it means the destruction of all ash trees. Virtually every ash tree will die if it is not treated, and this can cause problems for homeowners dealing with dead trees around their home, as well as municipalities dealing with hazard trees along the streets. If you have an ash tree that you care about saving, there are measures that you can take using pesticides to protect your ash trees. But across a broad scale, not every tree can be saved. And in areas where the infestation has been around for a number of years, virtually 99.9% of ash trees have died. The Catskill Regional Invasive Species Partnership hopes to work with communities to help them prepare for the loss of their ash trees.
The Catskill Regional Invasive Species Partnership is sponsoring the 2011 Ash Tree Street Inventory. We're going to be inventorying 20 communities in the Catskill region by walking up and down the sidewalk streets and identifying where all the ash trees are. Then we'll also be reporting on the condition of the ash trees and locating any ash trees that have emerald ash borer in them. The first of these inventories is taking place right in Saugerties. We'll be holding a training session at the public library on Wednesday, March 30th at 6 p.m. We'll be talking about the ash tree inventory and teaching the volunteers how to go about doing it. Then we'll be kicking off the inventory on April 2nd right here in Saugerties in front of the library at 10 a.m. We welcome all to volunteer, and we encourage you to attend the training if you'd like to volunteer.
If you are interested in attending the training at 6 o'clock on March 30th, you can call to reserve your spot. The number is 845-586-2611. And signs and symptoms to look for determining if your tree is infested are canopy dieback, splitting in the bark, particularly around where the branches leave the tree, and woodpecker activity. Woodpeckers commonly attack the tree looking for the third instar larvae and older. So those are the bigger larvae, and they will do damage to the bark, making it appear a much lighter color than the surrounding area, and they will leave large holes in the tree. The insect itself leaves a very small exit hole that is D-shaped and is very hard to detect unless you're very close to the tree. So that's not an excellent sign for identifying it. You may also see sprouts coming out of the tree. As a last-ditch effort to survive, the tree will produce these smaller sprouts that can come out of the trunk, anywhere along the trunk, especially along the bottom.
Without the help of local community volunteers, we will not be able to do this inventory, so we encourage all local volunteers to attend our March 30th training workshop at the public library at 6 p.m. and then the inventory date, April 2nd at 10 a.m. right in front of the library.
The emerald ash borer is an invasive beetle. It's just under half an inch in length as an adult. The adult is not commonly seen. It spends most of its time up in the canopy of ash trees. The larvae go through 4 different instars, and each instar stage they grow a little bit. They can be identified from other beetle larvae by a bell shape in their third segment near their head. They They feed on the phloem layer of the tree just under the bark, and they create serpentine galleries, so small tunnels that are very S-shaped in nature. When they have completed their juvenile life, they emerge through a D-shaped exit hole and fly as an adult. Trees generally show bad condition when they have had feeding. The tree is basically being starved to death by the damage that the larvae do to the tree, and that can be seen through canopy dieback, as well as other symptoms such as bark splitting and epicormic sprouting, or sprouts coming out of the trunk. You may have seen these purple prism traps. They were deployed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture as an attempt to find the beetle. They were successful in catching an emerald ash borer beetle in the trap, and that was how the discovery was made in the Saugerties area.
The Catskill Center for Conservation and Development is the host organization for the Catskill Regional Invasive Species Partnership, which is in part funded by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets.